I don't think anybody knows here something that she did for me many, many years ago. Maybe 25 years ago, I don't know, 20-some years. I had had a fall down, and I was living in Radlett, the furthest part of Radlett away from the Manor. And she would walk to my house to see me. No one else, I mean, maybe some devotees at the Manor were thinking of me or whatever, but she made that effort to walk all the way. It must have been a few miles to come and see me and to offer me her love and her encouragement. And I'll never forget that. I just wanted to share that so that everyone would know that. And she and I were Sankirtan partners. And
if you just hold the 1 second, it's just that a car is blocking another car, and the baby's very sick and they really want to go and they can't leave right now. The registration is LT07NDH. It's a Volkswagen Polo. It's blocking the car, and the family is here with the child, and the child is very sick, so they really want to leave. If you have that car, if you can remove that immediately, because they really need to leave. So that's a Volkswagen Polo LT07NHD.
We did Sankirtan together for some years. We'd especially go to Paris together, and she'd always glorify me, for being able to stop people there. And this was her mood of always glorifying devotees, and always saying their good points, and always encouraging them, and always showing love. And I think I always feel blessed, and she showed a lot of love to my son also, which was, he's always been very grateful to her for that. And another, just a little short thing I'd like to say, that over the last few months, when I was able to come to the deity meeting in the morning, and I would watch Mother Kulangana go up to offer her flowers to Srila Prabhupada. I could understand that she was getting ready for her spiritual body, because her body was in Tribhanga. You know? Her body was curved like this, like Krishna's body, Tribhanga. I felt like she was preparing for her spiritual form. Mother Kulangana.
Om Dear Mother, my first contact with you was when you taught me how to make sandesh in a deity kitchen. You always made the sweet with love and devotion for Krishna. You are what it means to be a real disciple from me, always helping others. He was always coming into the deity kitchen, checking that all the Mangalarti sweet were there for Krishna, and the Lord had everything he needed. When I started to make burfi, Devaki and Rabri, you always came in to check I was doing it right and helping me. Everything I saw, you as a Manor, you would ask me when I was coming to make the sweet. You always came into the kitchen at 12 o'clock midnight, and I put a chair ready for you. And you sat down and chant. Each time, I would put Srila Prabhupada classes on my tablet, on a speaker, with a speaker. And you would chant and listen. Once, she told me very loudly, I love you. Very loudly, with a big smile. You explained to me that you was a physiotherapist. And when I was making sweets, she was showing me, she said, Paramda, I did some stretching. She showed me how to do some stretching, and I was making sweet. It was for my arm on back. As she knew how making burpee can damage your back on arm. As she had done it for many years. Once you told me that you had never felt. Yeah, once she told me like this, Paramdam, I never felt to chant 16 rounds every day. You know. And she was always saying me, you have to chant, Paramdam, you have to chant. You know, always. And she told me also once, Paramdam, soon you will have to be on the diet. She told me that. And also, you know, sometimes she was always telling me how it was also difficult for her to live in her ashram, you know, to take care of all other ladies and look at their problem, try to resolve that, you know. Always she was, you know, telling me that. And also, many times, personally, when I was going to see her, she was telling me also she has very strong desire to go back to go there, you know, very strong desire to go. And for me, she was a very good inspiration, you know, to chant, you know, and surrender with determination. And always also, she always asked me, oh, give me a regard to Labanga. She was asked me, how is Labanga? And also, many years ago, for 6 years, I was separated with Labanga. But she helped me and helped also Labanga with love and affection, you know, to become again. And after that, I came back home, you know. It was her desire, you know. She said to me, you have to come back home, you know, because Labanga also has that desire for me to come back home. When I came back home, you know, she also was very happy, you know. And I pray Mother Kulangana that I will develop the taste, you know, to chant the holy name and by her mercy to go back to God there. Mother Kulangana ki jai.
Sri Krishna. So this is like the Mangalati Sweet Parampara going down here, because from Paramdam I also learned making the sandesh, and then when he had initially trained me, it's kind of just like when you go back to the spiritual world. First you go back to the Boma Vrindavan, where you were trained up, and then you go back to the real Goloka. So in a similar way, so Paramdam trained me in the initial art of making the sandesh, and then Mother Kulangana came to teach me what it is to perfect the service of making sandesh. But no one has been able to replicate how Mother Kulangana can make sandesh, and anyone who's tasted her sweets can testify to that fact. Just when you taste the sandesh made by Mother Kulangana, it's you taste that pure devotion. So we understood, because she would tell us that the real secret ingredient was praying to Srimati Radharani. So that was one secret ingredient, but the real thing is that, you know, nobody has that consciousness that Mother Kulangana has, and therefore that's why it's so difficult to emulate something that's such a wonderful creation. My heart is full of gratitude to have had the opportunity to associate with her so closely like that in the kitchen, and just see such a high standard of what was pure devotional service. Completely focused, pure devotional service, completely nothing else but pure devotion to Krishna. So it's an amazing thing to have had the opportunity to associate with somebody like that. I also credit Mother Kulangana for just still being around in Krishna consciousness. We all know about how many devotees she would pray for, and I know that she always prayed for me, and I just feel it's only because of her mercy that, you know, I'm still here trying to practice to become a devotee in this lifetime. We all know about Mother Kulangana's so many wonderful qualities. I'd like to just share one small thing of the side of her personality that some may not have seen, because for me I consider Mother Kulangana a true guru, because a true guru also, aside from being extremely kind and loving, also has another side, is that if they see the false ego of the disciple, they will also try to remove that. So I've also experienced that side of Mother Kulangana. She would see my false ego, and many, many times she would like humiliate me in front of other people if she saw any trace of false ego. And that was very, very hard to deal with, but somehow I was able to understand that, you know, through the nature of the loving relationship, that that's what she was doing, just, you know, diminishing any false pride in my heart. So Mother Kulangana, I'm really grateful that I was able to be here to witness your glorious departure and say my farewell and express my gratitude to you from my heart. And also I was able to place a sandesh in your coffin to send you on your way to the spiritual world, where no doubt you'll be making sweets for Krishna for the rest of the eternity, and I pray that one day I'll be there with you. Hare Krishna. Next in the Mangalati Suite Parampara is Sashabindu Prabhu.
We've got the opportunity to association with Mother Kulangana about 10 years. So, also lucky to have such a great chance to be trained by Mother Kulangana personally. So in the beginning, I was just trying. I was thinking maybe that service is not for me, but the strong desire of Mother Kulangana, actually, I just continue. She forced me, actually. So, yeah, many times chastised me, said, "You are rascal. You don't have any love. You can't cook rascal and sandwich."
I just say a few words as well. So we came about 10 years ago to Bhaktivedanta Manor. I remember from the very beginning how she took great care for us. It wasn't just because we were having the opportunity to learn from her how to make sweets, but she was interested in our welfare. I remember when my husband was here already, I was coming from Radha Deshari in the morning devotees dropped me, so I didn't know anything where to go. I was just staying outside the temple room, in the garden, and she was chanting around at 2 o'clock in the morning. So she came and she said, "You Shasha Bindu's wife? Oh, very nice. Come to the ashram, sit in this room, take rest." She would bring us prasadam. And this was so amazing because I was nobody. And she took such a great care of us, always from arranging us to get married, sending us to India. She would arrange our accommodation, because coming in, my husband was for many years brahmachari. He didn't have a job or anything, so we didn't have a place to stay in this country. So she would arrange our home, she would arrange our service, she would be always coming to the kitchen, making sure that we do the right thing. And later on, when she couldn't do any more Sunday, she would just come and sit in the kitchen and she would watch. She read to many devotees, she used to read to us as well. It was amazing how she took such a great care. She couldn't cook, but she was always making sure, bringing different machines, finding people to sponsor the very expensive machines, lots of different tools for sandesh. I remember many instances, she would come at middle of the night and she would open the door in the dainty kitchen, and sometimes we don't hear the door opening, but we would hear her stick, tack, 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 and then she would say, "We are going back to Godhead!" Because she would think that whoever wakes up so early and does service to Krishna, this is guarantee that we can go back to Godhead. She will be greatly missed, and there's so much to say about her, and we feel very unqualified and to properly glorify such a special soul. But everything we are, in our whole life, and that we are still a devotees, we owe to her, because she would really personally look after us, and this was so important for us to stay here and to continue in devotional life. So, Mother Kulangana, thank you so much for everything, and thank you for everyone else.
Thank you. The devotees that learned how to make Mangalati sweets from Radha Kanta Prabhu, if you just take the seat, if we just set the microphone. I'd like to also take this opportunity to welcome in this assembly His Holiness Bhakti Chiru Swami. We'll be asking him to speak after Radha Kanta.
Hare Krishna. So Srila Dharma Prabhu has encouraged me to share a story about Mother Kulangana for the pleasure of the assembled devotees. So, one time we were at the celebration for Radha Landaneshwara's, was it 40th anniversary? You know, that program we had in the theatre in London. So we were on the balcony taking what was a candlelight dinner. Myself, Mother Kulangana, and Vishwambar Prabhu and Jagannatheshwari Mataji, we were sharing a table. And there was some kirtan program going on beneath the balcony. And that day, all of a sudden, Mother Kulangana said to me, "Radhakanta, my feet are very cold." And she pulled off her chadar from her shoulders and wrapped it around her feet. Within a few minutes, a devotee just turned up from nowhere in the middle of a theatre room, embraced Mother Kulangana, pulled out a pair of brand new woolen socks from her purse and said, "Mother Kulangana, these are for you." So Mother Kulangana is of course always meditating on Krishna's lotus feet, and that day I felt that Krishna was taking care of her feet. So she immediately, I opened the pair of socks. Actually I was struggling to find something to open the pack with, We managed to get the pack open, and I offered the socks to Mother Kulangana and she immediately put them on. Mother Kulangana ki! I just wanted to properly honor all the devotees who looked after Mother Kulangana. Of course, we've heard from a few of the girls from the ashram, but there were actually many more ladies who did help to look after Mother Kulangana. And as I said, we're very grateful to the temple management for facilitating so many girls. And actually Mother Kulangana, as her health deteriorated, needed 24/7 care. So amongst the other girls, Matajis, the names are Varsana, Amrita, Gopi Premi, Jai Radhika, Guru Shakti, Agata, Suchirani, Kalkanti Radhika, Sudevi Sundari, Vishnupriya, Chandrika, Karuneshwari, Kalindi, Moksha Lakshmi, Apurva Shakti, Seema, Shashikala, Snehata and Pallavi. So a big thank you to Mother Kulangana's team of carers.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
I'd also like to thank David Prabhu and Ram Narasimha Prabhu for transporting prasadam to Mother Kulangana when she was in hospital. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's a huge team of devotees to actually look after as such. At this stage, I'll request His Holiness Bhakti Swami to address all of us. This year, of course, he has added responsibilities, so normally you would never have the GBC chairman coming to speak about someone. So we actually have the GBC chairman speaking about Mother Kulangana. Hare Krishna.
ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामी निति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य विशतादिने। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Srila Prabhupada was a very special personality who was sent by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to fulfill his prediction. And we can see from Srila Prabhupada's life and achievement what an unique personality he was. One thing becomes clear, that Srila Prabhupada was sent by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to fulfill his prediction. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Srila Prabhupada to this world, we can also see that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu arranged some very, very special personalities to also come to assist him and to further his mission. And Mother Kulangana was undoubtedly one such personality. There had been devotees, Srila Prabhupada disciples, who had been outstanding in their achievements. Like the early leaders of the movement, those who came to assist Srila Prabhupada, many of them were obviously very special spiritual personalities. Prabhupada himself admitted in more than one occasion that many of his disciples were actually sent by his Guru Maharaj to assist him in his movement. And he also said that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent them to assist this movement. Outstanding personalities. But at the same time, we also see some personalities, those who are not so visibly outstanding in their achievements and accomplishments. Many such devotees had been serving in ISKCON from the background, and they are not visible, but outstanding personalities. Their purity is actually carrying this movement forward. Prabhupada himself said that the purity is the force for this movement. It is the purity of the devotees that will further the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu through his ISKCON. And that way we can see that Mother Kulangana was such a personality who always stayed at the background. Most probably, many of us didn't even notice her. I will admit, I didn't notice her, although I had been coming to UK, especially in Soho Street and also in Bhaktivedanta Manor. Of course, those days there were so many devotees in Manor, so many Prabhupada's disciples, so many godbrothers, so many sisters. Actually, I noticed Mother Kulangana when I first saw this Sandesh with beautiful painting on it. It was something unique. Never in ISKCON, nowhere in ISKCON we actually developed this culture of painting on Sandesh. And that was Mother Kulangana's special innovation, at least as far as my understanding goes. And my immediate question actually was, who was that? Who made this? Who? And that is the first time actually I got to Mother Kulangana. And of course, with the passing of time, she became one of the most prominent devotees of this community. Not only in UK, devotees all over the world knows Mother Kulangana. And she is famous for her painted Mangalarati suite. And then we developed a relationship with her. She was an extremely friendly person, extremely humble, and we developed a kind of a friendly relationship. And of course she was senior to me by age, and she used to treat me like a younger brother, and was very appreciative of whatever I was trying to do. Whenever I used to have retreats in different parts of Europe, sometimes in UK also. And for years together, Mother Kulangana would always take part in those retreats. And she kind of became a very special part of our retreat. And I also noticed that the devotees respected her immensely. Especially the Vaishnavis found a very special shelter under her care. And I forgot the name. Murari Gupta Prabhu. Murari Gupta Prabhu actually. Oh, Murari Gopal Prabhu. Murari Gopal Prabhu mentioned that she was a spiritual master. She was a spiritual master. It is not that in order to be a spiritual master we need a stamp from ISKCON. Like by our behavior, by our activities, one actually becomes a spiritual master. And undoubtedly she was a spiritual master. She was, actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted that everybody should become a spiritual master. Whether he gets the recognition as a spiritual master or not, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Amar Agai Guru Hoya. In my order, you have become spiritual master. And she is undoubtedly a spiritual master. Spiritual master teaches, Acharya teaches by his or her own example. And she did teach through her own example. So dedicated, so sincerely involved in serving, so concerned about the welfare of the devotees around her. These are the qualities that makes one a spiritual master. And today I can see, at least we are seeing how many devotees have been affected by her example, by her care. And she was so Krishna conscious. As the devotee that Mataji before me mentioned, she used to just say, let's go back to Godhead. Let's all go back to God. Yes, that's our mission. Let's go back to Godhead. What we are doing here? As long as we are here, let's utilize our time and energy in serving Krishna. Otherwise, we have nothing to do in this material nature. Our destination is back to Godhead. And that's what Sri Prabhupada taught everyone. So we can see that she was completely committed to serving Krishna, and her goal was to go back to the spiritual world. And you can see how she left her body. When I got to know that her condition was so serious, I phoned her, and I could see that we couldn't properly have a dialogue, because probably she was not understanding what I was saying and I was not understanding what she was saying, because in the phone sometimes it becomes difficult to understand. So I started to chant, and she responded so beautifully. She just kept on chanting. And then when I was about to finish, about to end, she just started to glorify the book that I wrote about Srila Prabhupada, my days with Srila Prabhupada. And later on I found out that she told Agatha, this girl from Poland, to translate the book in Polish. She gave her the assignment, must translate this book into Polish. And what did she like so much about the book? Because the book was, she told that, spoke so about Srila Prabhupada in so much detail, especially Prabhupada's last days. How Prabhupada decided to go to Vrindavan to leave his body. And then finally how Srila Prabhupada left his body. And I had the good fortune of being here at the time when she left her body. When I was speaking to her, that was about, I think that was on the 2nd or 3rd of, no, I'm sorry, that was the 5th of August. And I had a strong feeling that she's not going to live now. Janmashtami is just around the corner. And I told her I was supposed to come here on the 12th. So I told her, I'll see you soon. and I feel very fortunate that I could get to see her once again when I came back. And when I saw her, it reminded me of Srila Prabhupada. How Prabhupada actually left. When Prabhupada left his body, when Prabhupada was completely withdrawn. He was fully conscious, but he was withdrawn. He didn't want to get involved in anything. Only when his godbrothers came to see him the day before Prabhupada, night before Prabhupada left, Prabhupada actually responded. And you could see that. Otherwise Prabhupada was completely withdrawn. Devotees used to come and chant in his room very softly. And otherwise Prabhupada was completely withdrawn. And I saw also Mother Kulangana, like she was completely withdrawn. And so remembering those days with Sri Prabhupada, I also started to chant. And when I started to chant, I could see that she also was singing with us. And what an amazing way she left her body. As I was thinking, the Janmashtami is just around the corner. And yes, just the day before Janmashtami, she decides to leave. And Shruti Dharma, Pranabandha Prabhu and myself were discussing that she left on the eve of Janmashtami. What a wonderful way of leaving. But then we got to know that Janmashtami Tithi already started at 3 o'clock. She left around 6 o'clock. And the Tithi, the day of Janmashtami, already started at 3 o'clock. So she didn't leave on the eve of Janmashtami, she left on the day of Janmashtami. And also what an amazing way of leaving. She left on the day of Janmashtami, but in such a way that she could go to the spiritual world, and for Janmashtami she could make the sweets for Krishna. This was actually Shruti Dharma Prabhu's statement. That she left in such a way that she can go to the spiritual world and make the sweets for Krishna. So this is how we are seeing how authentic this movement is. at least we cannot possibly have any doubt about the authenticity of this movement. How do we find out about the authenticity? The way the devotees leave their body in this movement, that's the indication. And Mother Kulangana's departure is a brilliant example. And on the day of Janmashtami, upstairs we are sitting with Anil Agarwal, and we are discussing about Mother Kulangana. And Anil actually made a very nice statement. He said, these personalities can decide for themselves when they will leave the planet. I mean, that was a very nice statement. As if Mother Kulangana decided for herself when she was going to leave this planet. And she left the planet in the perfect way for the spiritual world. Another wonderful thing I noticed about Mother Kulangana, that when I was seeing her, her mouth was open. And that also reminds me, that was also the case with Srila Prabhupada. When Srila Prabhupada was leaving his body, Prabhupada's godbrother Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj was just sitting at the head of Srila Prabhupada, and I was giving water to Srila Prabhupada. And Babaji Maharaj told me, see, he's still chanting. I didn't notice because Prabhupada's mouth was opening from time to time, and I was pouring Jamuna water. And Babaji Maharaj pointed out, he's still chanting. And then he said, see how his lips are vibrating, his tongue is vibrating. And I could see that when Prabhupada opened his mouth, his tongue was rhythmically vibrating. And that's how, although we could hear the sound, we could actually see that Prabhupada was chanting the whole name. And that's how Prabhupada left his body, chanting. That's why his mouth was open. And the same thing I noticed with Mother Kulangana. Her mouth was open. And I could also see when I was chanting with next in front of her, she was chanting. So this is these are the clear indications. These are the demonstrations of one's faith in the Holy Name. And this is how the good fortune that the devotees create for the departing souls. They chant, they remind the devotees to chant the Holy Name. Those who have been chanting for our years together, how can they forget to chant at the time of death? Therefore, a devotee doesn't die, leaves his or her body to go back to the spiritual world. So undoubtedly Mother Kulangana was one such pure devotees who came to serve Srila Prabhupada, and through her own example demonstrate to everyone the authenticity of this process of Krishna consciousness. Mother Kulangana ki jai. Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vaśyadharani Satarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhascha Kripa Sindhu Daivacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo. Mother Kulangana ki jai. Shri Radha Gokulananda ki jai. Gaur Premanandi.
His Holiness Bhakti Chiri Maharaj ki jai. So thank you very much, Maharaj, for that wonderful offering. Mother Kulangana had organized everything. We were wondering for 6 weeks which day she would leave this world. And she not only left on the day of Janmastami, she's the only person I know that was cremated on the same day as Janmastami. And she also organized the highest officer of our society to be here when she's leaving this world. And be with us this evening as well. We started at 4 o'clock and I said we'd finished at 8, and I still have 20 names on the list. We will have to continue another session for her memories. But the first person who asked me at 3:45 was Jai Dev Prabhu. And his name was floating in the list, but he has a 2-minute poem, and I'd like him just to have the final person.
Hare Krishna, thank you. So I was fortunate enough to have my birthday on the same day as Mother Kulangana. But unfortunately that's where the similarity ends. We've had a few, she's been so kind the last few birthdays, we've had dual birthday parties. And she was so kind to have me sit along and sort of, she was just absolutely amazing. She wouldn't let anyone speak her praises. She was just humility personified, plus fun, of course. And she just quickly to say before I read the poem, which is very short, that I said at that day, Mother Kulangana's what a great well-wisher she's been to me. Over the years, she's always liked my CDs. I'm not really sure if she really did, but she used to play them. She used to play them in the when she made the Munkle Suites. I actually heard them on the odd occasion when I came to Manor. And I was so, very happy that I'd pleased her. And I thought, my next CD, I'm going to personally give it to her. And I got this next new one, and I was so proud of it, and I gave it to her. And next thing I thought, when I see her, she's going to say some great things. And I saw her, I said, did you play the CD? She said, yes. And I said, what do you think of it? She said, I think you need to do washing up some pots and pans. Too much ego. So from that point in time, I knew she was my ever well-wisher. Because, she could say those things. So, now another embarrassment is that I always had Mother Kulangana made out as a milkmaid in the spiritual sky. So my poem is about that, but it seems that she's a Gaura Bhakta. But I'm hoping, because we've been told by Sri Prabhupada that we can have a dual role in the spiritual world, both in Gaura Leela and in Krishna Leela. So this is the Krishna Leela version. And even if I'm wrong, Mother Kulangana, she'll just laugh and just say, it's typical Jayadeva. Okay, so fare thee well, our Polish milkmaid, as you cross samsara's might, upon the swan of love into the realm of light. And when thine eyes accustom to the brilliance therein, you'll gaze below in wonder at a land no thieves can plunder or usurper thunder in. No Genghis Khan or Nero these climes could ever dream. No champion or hero of earthly reckoning can go where your 2 feet now stand in pasture's silky tread. Surabi calls, Kulangana, at last we have your Sangha now. Come, let us lick your head. So the Surabi cows are speaking. For years you have perfected, through toil and sweat and strife, down there upon the earth, where you took birth, a pious, godly life, and gave our kin a standing, not meant for man's attrition. While slaughtermen's knives took our innocent lives, you showed our disposition. We mothers do applaud you for showing what we offer, pure milk and cream and ghee and more. Our udders haply proffer and at your skillful hands we see you elevate us higher. Sandesh, Rasgula, Pera too, fit for the Lord of rain cloud blue. What more could we desire? And now the moment has arrived, which we have e'er been longing, to see you here where you belong. Just look around, you thronging. So many mothers come to see their milky queen of hearts return from earth, freed from rebirth, and never to depart. Come now to this desire tree, you're sorry to receive. The colour of our golden milk will slip now from its leaves, and curl girl bangles will appear, adorning both your arms, and ankle bells that sweetly ring to every song you love to sing about your Prince of Charms. And then, in no time you will rise to meet your cowgirl friends. In joyous camaraderie, you'll serve till daytime ends. And should you want to venture out, when Venu tantalizes, they'll show the way through darkened lanes. No thorn or stones will give you pain, to the meadow of surprises. Mother Kulangana ki!
Jai Dev Prabhu ki. Thank you very much. My sincere apologies to all the devotees that have put their names down, sending me notes. I couldn't fit you all in, but we'll have another function for Mother Kulangana. And you know, Mother Kulangana, she loved to give prasadam to everyone. So we have a huge feast which is being served just outside there. So if everyone makes their way to take the feast in honor of Mother Kulangana. Srila Prabhupada ki. Gaur Premanandi. Hare Krishna.